Like to take this time to go over maintenance and monitoring for an organization. My bullet points are that you first need to work with CIO and system management to complete an assessment of manageable downtime for equipment, proper response time for personnel to be on site. It's important actually if you have that downtime that the proper people are there and they're there within a timely manner, whether you have them on site within a specific amount of time and you require them to be there before downtime actually occurs. Scheduled downtime, actually unscheduled. There should be some things in place as far as SLAs between your own employees and vendors to provide a certain amount of response time. Scheduled maintenance must be coordinated by management administration, regardless if there's downtime uh, or if the customer is downtime the customer is not incurred. Imperative that outage times be kept private. And actually, nobody needs to know outside of the people that perform maintenance when maintenance is occurring. Leave yourself more susceptible to attack at that time. Your company or organization is affiliated with the federal government or does global uh, works on a global stage. You may not have any downtime that you can incur at all and be a 24/7 operation. Anything that you need to do naturally needs to be coordinated and taken care of as need be. But the understanding is you'll be 24/7 and you need to do that to the best of your ability. Uh, in the event of 24/7, what employees, what staff do you want on call? Procedures for recall if you need other staff, subject matter experts that may work only during daytime hours, how long are they supposed to be, and vendor SLAs. What's the downtime between software and hardware vendors and anything that they need to provide to you? What is their turnaround time? Network monitoring is imperative availability of service to customer. Who does your monitoring? Is it third party? Is it within the house? Who installed it? And whether or not, even a third party, is it living up to your expectations? Is your ISP, is their the way that they provide network connectivity to you, is that within standard? Next, I'd like to go over maybe a few of these monitoring tools. Cacti was something that I had not seen before. Uh, Mostly read up on it for this article itself, but one of the things that I was very impressed with is the amount of uh, options this program that is free seems to have. Um, as it states within the writing, it collects everything from fluid return temperatures and data center cooling to filer volume free space. Anybody that knows anyone about data center operations understands that cooling is a must within a facility of that nature, especially what they consider lights out facilities where you're just running dark. It's a server farm. Um, your chillers, you always need to know are at a certain temperature, nothing's happening. I mean, even the ability to monitor free space. For the next tool I wanted to go over, that was Nagios, which is what I currently use in my environment where I'm at now. Nagios has helped me out many a times. Uh, quick look here at the interface, and mostly what it says is that anything via IP you can monitor. Uh, you have configuration files and a ton of knowledge out on the internet as to how this can be done. Uh, these systems, even though you're in a reactive state, give you um, the information you need to be able to troubleshoot quickly and in a timely manner. They allow us to bring systems, down, or make sure availability is still available to the customer without the customer actually seeing any sort of hiccup within the system. And like I said, it's a personal thing with me that Nagios seems to be a very, very powerful tool for monitoring and absolutely free. Doesn't cost anyone a dime. I found this one interesting as well. I have no idea how to pronounce it. Singa. It's a kind of a cutoff away from Nagios, but in its second iteration, smaller and sleeker, as it's stated here. And the monitoring, the picture, I think, says a lot to the to how everything is monitored. It gives you a better breakdown of certain systems and how they're distributed. This could be very helpful for monitoring within DMZs. I could see where that would come in very handy. Free as well. And another one that I came into contact with doing this research was Intop, packet filtering and sniffing tool. I mean, if you can look at the web UI that shows right here, very simplistic, but very pertinent information, and also free. I think the main thing to come away with these monitoring tools that I'm going over is each of them is free, and there's an abundance of amount of information on the internet that shows how to configure and how to use these tools, which makes this that much more of a reason to use these. There's really no reason not to. It's important to either have somebody on staff that's already knowledgeable in these products, or bring someone on. And you don't have to have just one and go with it. You can have multiple ones if you feel like one gives you a better interface for a specific purpose within the organization. Moving on, I wanted to go over some with policies and procedures. You want the policy and procedure written out by the CIO. You want his name and his signature on the product. You want it available to everyone, because whenever that certain instances occur that are within this book, or however you wish to designate it, the policy itself should be mandatory for everybody to read. And therefore, whenever it is something happens that goes against this, there's no excuse for somebody stating they didn't know. Testing and training employees that are tasked with monitoring incident response are aware of what to look for and what is expected of them within situations that arise. I come from a military background. My understanding of things is you train. You train for the real-time situation. You have things done in a manner in which that it's not always at 2 o'clock today we're going to run a drill. Sometimes things just need to be done without anybody knowing. Make sure the people that you have monitoring their systems know what it is they're looking for. How important is this alarm? If it hasn't been configured right and it just says warning and it's actually a high impact alert, you want people there to really understand the process to know that. System testing. While employees are capable of running some or all the necessary protocols to test, you might want a third-party vendor to test. And also what this does is it provides an objective view of your network. Sometimes people may know or may sense or may just find out when they're doing it that something's not right, but yet they kind of brush under the rug for fear of retribution or for fear of losing the job, because it may be a bigger hole than what you actually realize. And it's important for people to have a third party set of eyes to look at something, because their view is objectionable. They're not here to get anybody fired or to tout it as the greatest system on earth. They're there to provide a different point of view and a different way of looking at things. And vendors provide support via monitoring. If it's third party, such as your ISP, you may actually have third party monitoring of your systems, so that's not done in house. But if that is the case, you need to have a understanding, contract based, that needs to be in writing as to what's expected of these people, what the turnaround time is, as far as notification that something's wrong. If it's not in writing, it can always be argued later on, and really and truly, then it just becomes a they said, you said scenario that does nobody any good. And finally, I wanted to go over strategies. Security administrators should be given leeway to scan network pieces with no notice or notification. Uh, with the granting permission by the CIO, and that was kind of what I touched on earlier. You want a surprise within testing. You want people to be on their toes at all times instead of at 4 o'clock, I need to know that there's going to be a test of the network. Enforcement of security procedures needs to be done the same across the board for every employee. A state of forward policy needs to be accessible. Changes occur. Read receipt of emails can be verification. You need to make sure that employees know what they can and cannot do. Cannot be stressed enough. Even though there's such a thing as an insider threat, many times it's done just by sheer I didn't know, which uh, in earlier days may have been acceptable, but not anymore. Access to data should be monitored on a constant basis. Ensure that users have only what is needed. Military people will say need to know. Uh, Within the IT community, you'll hear RBAC about the role-based access controls. I mean, what it all boils down to is make sure that uh, people only have the capability of getting to what they need to get to, and have alarms set in place if this is not the case. You need to be notified when people try to access anything that is not on their list of roles within their organization. Scans and reports must be run in a timely manner to ensure nothing stands out. Uh, Failure to check on servers and equipment creates a gap in time, allowing an affect the system. And what I'm trying to get through to people here is that these monitoring tools, and then there's other tools that you can put on your machines to really kind of break down the amount of time that it takes to find problems. These tools that you have, they monitor, they also can create reports to show you issues within your network. And it's important to go through these. It's important to run these. You have these things that are free, and even if they were paid for, that are at your fingertips, it's very imperative that you pay attention and actually do the things that need to be done to keep your system up and working and being proactive and keeping it safe.